Oh my god. Okay, guys, we're just gonna jump into it really, because I think this is gonna be a fun conversation. Hey guys, what's up? It's Alyssa with Jeno. Is that how you pronounce it? Jeno?
That's how you pronounce it.
That's
Jeno.
awesome. It's great. Oh my god. Okay, so this is gonna be very interesting. I've never used Skype before, so I wonder how it's gonna turn out. But I think it's gonna be okay.
I use
Um,
that all the time. It's gonna work out pretty good.
awesome. Okay, so I guess we could start by we already talked a little bit beforehand, but how did you find my channel and why did you want to talk to me?
Well, okay. I was watching, man. I watch a lot of videos. I listen to a lot of videos online, and I
Yeah.
came across this one called Nerds for Yang. And I saw you on there. I saw you on there for Nerds for Yang, and I saw you was talking about how you voted for Trump, and he was doing the interview with
Yes,
you.
Tom.
I thought it was fascinating because a lot of people don't believe this. You know what I mean? Because it's so divided, right? You got your left, you got your right, but they can't fathom that when you think of a Trump supporter or somebody that voted for Trump, they can't fathom like, what, you vote for Andrew Yang? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Realistically, there's a lot of them. There's a lot more. I work where I work at. I work with in distribution, so I work with truck drivers all across America, and they
Oh,
all voted for Trump. Okay, a lot of them. The people that I work with, black,
yeah.
Mexican, Indian, white, they're all Trump supporters. But now, when we all talk about politics and stuff like that, every single one of them come across and they're going for Andrew Yang. So that says a lot. That says a lot by itself. You know, the media don't want to say that that's happening, but a lot of them will cross over for that reason for Andrew Yang.
And that's crazy. I mean, for me, and we can get into like how I became, because there's a lot of layers to why I voted for Trump. Like I said, I did go for Bernie beforehand, but then I turned to Trump. But just overall, I think that like Yang is like the person that we've all been looking for, you know. It's like no matter which side of the coin which side of the coin you're on, I think that like he is like the person that we've wanted for so long, for so many different reasons, and I think that's why like because like the last election season was so polarizing, you wouldn't think that somebody like Yang could attract so many people, but he is a true like humanitarian and a true unifier. So it really doesn't make sense when you get into it, but on the surface level, you're right, it seems kind of crazy, which we'll get into. But yeah, so that's so cool that you work for truckers. You probably had never met Fred the Felon, but have you met him?
Who, the truck driver?
Yeah, he's one of the truck drivers that had an interview with Yang way back.
No,
Like
I
Yang,
see. Yeah, I know who you're talking about, man. It was a fascinating man. That dude got in a truck.
oh my god,
You're not gonna see Joe Biden get no damn truck.
I
He ain't gonna get no truck, man. Yeah, ain't getting in the truck. He talked to the people. He's the only one that I see that went out there and trying to figure out what's going on and how he can fix it. When he says he's a problem solver, the
yeah
dude is a problem solver. Right off top, he's a problem solver. So when you
yeah
when you listen to him, man, when you take the time to actually listen to him, because well, first, this is the first reaction when anybody hears this in it. Hey, man, there's a Chinese dude giving away $1,000.
yeah.
He's voting for president. You want to vote for him? That's kind of fishy, man. All right, give you money. They don't. They just don't give you money, man. And then you be like, well, check this out. My mom is like, no, Joe Biden, Joe Biden. You know, my mom is just like stuck like, you know, because
Yeah,
people are familiar with what they know. You know what I mean? When you go to the
exactly.
store, you don't go try the media try to tell you who to vote for, right? We can't go and tell you what you're going to choose at the store. Is you know what I mean? They know what they want to choose at the store. You
Wait,
know what
hold
I mean?
up. Wait. Did you see Shaving with Tully's video? Do you even know who that is?
Who is that?
Oh my god. Okay, so this is so funny that you use that exact technology because he's like an up and comer, like a gang creator, and I'll link his channel down below for you guys, and I'll give you his link. But I actually just had a video chat with him. Like my recent video is me talking with this guy, and he made a he's like making a video series of like how MSNBC and CNN are like blacklisting Yang, and how they're like kind of doing like a bit of voter suppression when it comes to them like ignoring him.
It's bluntly there. You can see it. You can see it. It's the same way. It's the same way as they were doing for Bernie, though. I mean, because if you're in 2016, okay, I wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders. A lot of people wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders, but when it comes up to the Clinton
the dynasty,
when they said it was a machine, man, she was a machine. If I remember right, Donna Brazile, I think that it was in a book, or Donna Brazile said something like the DNC was broke. The DNC was broke after Barack Obama, if I remember right.
Yeah, because oh my God, this is like all coming together. You're right. I think he started like his own like foundation, and like a lot of people donated to his personal thing, and then donate to the DNC.
They were broke basically, and then Hillary came in and started paying the bills. You know what I mean? Like you're already right up top. So it was a sad thing, because he should have won. You know what I mean? He should have won. When it was at the convention, you know what I mean? Those people were crying. There were people crying, and then they were crying. He was sitting up there, his brother's crying, because that man deserved to have it. Realistically, he deserved to have it.
I agree.
Well, and then the icing on the cake was when that comedian came out. Remember when she came out? I forgot her name, but she was all like grow up, like burn the bus. She was like grow up or something like that. She said something, but I was just like, man, get behind Hillary Clinton. No, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I went in there and I hit Trump, baby. You know what I mean?
I hit Trump.
A lot of people that was voting for Bernie Sanders was pissed off, and that was the truth behind it. They wanted to see. They hit the destruction button, man.
Oh my God. There's so much. But yeah, so just a quick callback. So yeah, Shaving with Tully. He made a video, and he like actually physically went into a couple of stores, and he did like exactly what you were talking about. He asked strangers like, hey, like, can I choose like, can I choose another item for you? And they're like, no. And he's like, well, what if it's like this one? Like, can I just like switch out one? And they're like, no, I know what I want. So it was like his way of being like, yeah, the reason why people choose something is because they want it, like, so why are you meddling with that? And it's just so funny that you brought up that, but holy moly. Okay. So let's go back. So yeah, you saw me on Tom, Nerds for Yang, and I threw down the bomb on you guys, and you said that I was a bit nervous, which I kind of am. I kind of like skeptical.
When I seen that, I was like, you was kind of nervous to say that you voted for Trump there. Yeah. To me, that's how it came off to, that you was kind of like, because I can understand saying you're a Trump supporter or even voted for Trump. People want. It's just a natural action to attack that person, get a club and pop, hit them on the head.
Yeah.
I know. But the truth is like a lot of people, there was a lot of feelings coming out of that. You know what I mean? So let me ask you a question real quick.
Yes.
What was the first introduction to Trump for you?
Yeah, so I knew him already, but just growing up, my mom actually liked to watch The Apprentice, like kind of briefly. So he's kind of like a household name. Like you just knew about Trump. Before he was running for president, like I was like, I just figured that he was just some like, celebrity, like entrepreneur or whatever. I didn't have a bad feeling or a good feeling. I just knew he existed. I knew he was big. Right. But when he announced that he was running for president, I was like, okay, that's interesting. Okay, like, and then I noticed, like, at the time I was in senior year of high school, and I noticed a couple of my friends are like, oh my God, like, why is he running? Like, he would never win. Like, he's so stupid. Like, what? He's a joke, And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Why you guys are having such a vitriol reaction towards him? So I was like, okay, and so I was in the mindset of like, okay, it's probably like he's an underdog, and people like underdog stories. So I'm like, you guys are kind of writing him off a little too fast. Like, don't just say that he won't win. This is without me like being into politics that much. And at this time, like I was the only like thing I was really into was people on YouTube that like talked about politics and talked about like pop culture in general. Like the crowd of like the atheist crowd, like the skepticism, like portion of YouTube, like the amazing atheist and like Sargon of the Cod, like those types of characters, right? And
Right.
they like Bernie, so I was like, okay, Bernie's cool, like whatever, like Bernie. And like through this, like through that whole election, like Bernie was getting steam, then like Trump was getting steam as well, and like people just kept talking about him. And I was like, okay, if you guys keep talking about him, like he's just gonna grow even more. Like in the back of my mind, I felt this. But I was rooting for Bernie. I'm like, okay, Bernie like seems to be on the progressive-ish side. I didn't bother to donate to him or go to any rallies or anything like that. I just was like on the bandwagon, just like whatever. I know people like Bernie, and he was kind of like the hip choice. Even in high school, like you just knew that like people wanted Bernie more than Hillary, definitely. And we didn't even know anybody else who was running. But when it came to Trump, I was like, I was kind of like entertained almost. I didn't really see him as like a politician. I was just like entertained. So when Bernie didn't get the vote in the DNC, I was like, well, you know what? Like, Trump is kind of interesting. Like, I don't like Hillary, not even a little.
Let me tell you something. How I got introduced to Trump, okay? And
Yeah,
this a lot of Trump supporters got introduced to Trump, and well, my age at least,
yeah.
because we grew up watching WWE. And we were watching The Rock, Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, you know what I mean? And then the guy, Vince McMahon was the bad guy. Trump would come in and say he'd be going against the Vince McMahon, the bad guy. So our, when you watch that around that age, when you're, growing up, you kind of get that stuck in your head. Hey, yeah, I remember that dude. Yeah, I remember that dude. He ran for president. Let's see what he got. God dang. He ran through all the contenders.
Oh yeah.
And he ran through them. He steamrolled every single one of them. Right or wrong, he got it done. You know what I mean? Like he got it done.
Yeah, people forget what those primary debates, the Republican primary debates were like a football like game. It was like he was just taking everybody out one by one and just like completely dominating the stage. And it was through like a lot of like negativity and stuff, but it was like you said, it was really like a show. And it was so funny to see.
He slaughtered Bush. Oh my God, he slaughtered Bush. But you
And
know what? We're
yeah,
tired of dynasties, man. They don't want to see another Bush, and they don't want to see another Clinton. You know what I mean? Like that's all there is. Let's get some new blood in there, man. It's a burn.
especially yeah,
See, let me ask you this, okay?
yeah,
And after Bernie, after Bernie lost, right?
yeah,
And a lot of people felt that a lot of people were mad. You know what I mean? A lot of people are mad and they went into the voting booth to go vote. So after you voted for Trump, like I did, on the day of the election, okay? Because we couldn't tell. Nobody could. I didn't think he was going to win. Nobody thought he was going to win. Okay.
we voted for.
Okay. When he won, how did you feel looking at all those commentators that dissed Bernie and did all that to him and did everything? How did you feel when they was just like they didn't even know they were stumbling over each other trying to talk? How did you feel?
God. Oh my god. It was oh my gosh. So like I said, this one particular podcast and it was called Drunken Peasants. They're still on, but like the main person that I liked is TJ Kirk. And they actually had a bet going. So one of the hosts, he was like, listen, I bet that Hillary will win. And they none of the hosts liked any of the people running. They wanted to vote for Bernie. But they were like, listen, like let's see. One person betted, like I think the bet was like $500. So one person betted on Hillary and one person betted on Trump, right? So like the night of the election, I was just watching their live stream. of like them going through it. And at first, they're like, okay, like Hillary's clearly like taking the lead, like, and one of the main host, he actually betted on Trump to win. He was kind of getting depressed. He was like, listen, I don't want Trump to win, but like I kind of thought he may have had a shot, and so through that night, I was watching their reaction, and then like kind of like looking at the Young Turks as well, because like they were like really like they thought that Trump would not get.
They flipped out that night. Matter of fact, I have to watch that like maybe for every 4 months. I like watching it because I mean they flipped out because it's hilarious how bad they was mad because you know what they know that they was pissed off at the end after they couldn't believe Trump won. You know what I mean? They could because no one was going to believe he won. They was mad because Bernie should have been up there and Bernie would have took out Trump, man.
Yeah, it's so bizarre seeing like everybody like cheer on Hillary when they didn't really like her. It's like this whole like fake atmosphere, which is why like a lot of people were even more for Trump because it was like, listen, we know you guys don't really like her that much or you don't believe in her.
She got baggage, man. She had
way
baggage.
Too much.
She had baggage. I didn't like they were saying that vote for her, stand by her because she's a woman. Vote for her because she's a woman. That's not the message man, that's not the message. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I hate that.
She didn't stand for nothing, man. Like, I don't even remember anything. All I remember is the debates and that I don't even remember that because they were so hilarious, man. I couldn't believe what I was seeing when I was watching this go down. That's all I remember. And all I remember is that Trump is a type of person. This is where it comes to today's candidates, okay?
Yeah.
All these candidates. Yeah. Trump is a fighter, man. He is a stone cold fighter, man. He during Hillary Clinton's time up there, one of the debates, he put all Bill Clinton's accusers up there on the front row and stuff. Yeah. That right there, when he did that right there should have showed you like he is willing to
go there.
Willing to go there, right? Okay, so now let's fast forward. Fast forward right now. Biden, okay? Biden. Let's say this is a fight, right? Yeah. Let's just say it's a fight. Obama, right? Let's say Obama, this is a fight. They're in the ring together, and Biden is behind Obama, right? But Obama had the kung fu. Let's say the other opponent was the media, right?
Yeah.
He fight him off, right? Joe really didn't have to do that fight. He let Obama beat him up. Okay, so now, just like on this, right?
Yeah.
Impeachment thing. He went up against Trump one time. Okay, this is really one time, right? Trump basically hit him in the neck, and he's bleeding voters now.
I know.
He's bleeding money. He's bleeding voters. He's falling apart. And they say that he's the most electable. Oh, I'm sorry, or was that Hillary Clinton that said that? One of them. But that's what they are. That's what people look at, and that's what they see. And I'm sorry, I just can't vote for that.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, no. No, I get it. It is very frustrating. It's very befuddling because it's like, how are you guys so like committed to the establishment? Honestly, it's kind of like brainwash. I think so, and that's why and I'm not listen. We have a.
Yeah,
it's just so crazy, and you're right. How can Biden withstand? The 6 months of like going head to head with Trump where you can't even take him now. It just doesn't make any sense, really.
Trump is going to drag him and his son through the mud, just like he dragged Hillary and those emails through the mud. I mean, golly. And then when it comes right down to it, you can't sit there and think about it. That's not going to go away. He branded them. He's branded. He bent them over and branded him. And said, okay, go back out there. People know you got the brand on you now.
Yeah.
See, this is what I imagine in my head, okay? This is what I imagine. Let's say he when he does get past the primaries and stuff like that, right? He gets past the primaries, he's up there with Trump, right?
Yeah.
Andrew Yang is so smart. I don't know if Trump want to go against him like that, man. You try to hit him with stuff, he's going to turn him out. He's going to brand Donald Trump. You know what I mean? And Trump's going to have to, hey, he's going to have to step back. In that dirty fighting, I don't know if that would work, Andrew Yang. And see, that's why I say, because he has so many Trump supporters defecting to Andrew Yang, man. He does. He's bleeding out. That's probably why he hasn't said nothing about him, man. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to put his name up because it's true. It's true. Trump supporters like Andrew Yang.
Oh my God. And then, of course, like I said, I hate it when people say that Trump's an idiot, because there's no way that he knows how to seek attention. He knows how to grab people's attention. And it's negative, yeah, but he knows how to do it. And then he knows how to have people around him to do the strategic stuff. He knows how to, like, get people around him that, like, are good at, like, actually getting the numbers, getting the data, and, like, knowing, like, who to actually attack. So to me, it's like, I know that Trump's team realize how threatening Yang is, and you're right, he won't talk about him. And one of my favorite moments is when he said, "Don't freaking say." They're like,
blow up those windows and drive through that too. And you know what I mean? Like, and not, hey, don't put your hand out there with the lion. You know what I mean? Like, hey, hand out there with that man.
So it's so funny. One of my favorite moments of this, like, this primary season is when Kristen Gillibrand, when she dropped out, and then when Trump, like, makes that tweet, he's like, you know, it's great that Kristen, that Gillibrand dropped out, and, you know, she doesn't know that she's not the person that I was actually scared of, you know. And I'm like, was that what? I'm like, okay, interesting.
You know exactly who it is. You can't, you know, there was an interview. I saw an interview with him, and they were, to me, they were trying to brand him as a socialist. They were trying to brand Andrew Yang as a socialist, man. And he broke him down. He broke him down smart. Like the guy.
Wait, who?
It was on, I think it was like on CNBC. It was an interview on there. Man.
It happens all the time. So but yeah, you're right. One of those mainstream people.
Yeah, but he was the dude. He came out. He was trying to hit him left and right. He went with some smart stuff. But Andrew Yang just he put that genius on him, and then I think he got frustrated at the end. My opinion, that's what it looked like to me. Like he couldn't get him to say, because at the end he was like, he tried to seem like, oh, socialist is bad. He's like, no, he was talking about how capitalism is designed to do what it's supposed to do. Dude's smart. People need to look him up. They need to watch Joe Rogan. They need to go support this man. They need to donate to this man. He, like he says, the best thing that I like about him too, when he talks about it's not left or right, but it's forward. Man, that's what it is. That's the message. That is the pure message that everybody needs to hear, because that's what's bringing Trump supporters and the left, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Left, right. That's what is bringing it together. One man. And that's why they don't want to push him out there. That's why the mainstream don't want to push him out there or say his name, because he like Candyman right now. You say his name, man, he's gonna come show. He's gonna get it. That's it. Because once you hear this man, once you hear him, man, and he start talking, he got you, man. That's it. You're done.
It's so funny because, and after I make this point, I want to get into how you found out about Andrew Yang. But it's so funny. This is why, like, I get so excited when they leave us out of graphics and they misspell our names or like call us John Yang and stuff. That gets me so pumped, because the way this is the way that human psychology will go, and this is how, like, the average person voting is going to see this whole thing. Because a lot of people are not tuned into the primary season at the moment. Really, like, kind of like an oddity. Like, most people are, like, doing their own thing. They're, like, kind of, there's too many candidates, so I'm not trying to, like, invest my time into researching all that stuff. They're really waiting to, like I would say, like, November or December, when they get family around and people can actually talk about it, right? But when they finally talk about the candidates, and when Yang is still in the debates, And they're like, wait, why haven't I heard about this guy? That actually makes him more powerful, because it's like, wait, this guy that like he's like, getting all these donations, and he's actually holding himself up on these national polls. He's not kicking it out of the park, but he's still there. It's like, why hasn't my news station been talking about him? And that
people are listening because let me tell you something. It's like a movie. It's like a movie, man. You can go watch Star Wars, The Last Jedi, right? You know what I mean? Or the last one that came out before this new one coming. And you can get all the critics to say, hey, it's the best movie in the world, Joe Biden. But the truth is, when people go watch it, they're like, oh man, I hate that movie. Like, they hate that movie, right?
Yeah.
Word to mouth is everything. Word to mouth is gold. And this is what look how much he raised. Look how much people are it's growing. It's growing. Word to mouth is what is spreading. It's like a virus, man.
Yeah.
It's spreading.
It really, like, and I love watching Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's always said this, that you're right, like, it's an old but gold method, like, tried and true. Like, if people are talking about you, like, then they'll tell like their friends, then they'll tell their families, and then people will just know you by that. You really don't need. He doesn't need like. Oh my, imagine if he had the same amount of money as like even like Pete Buttigieg has. Like, he would just be dominant. Like, he would be unstoppable. But it's good that we're going at it from like a kind of like gradual uprise, because there's a lot of things in like the Yang Gang like grassroots that like we're like trying to make sure we can like organize, and like we're not getting too overwhelmed with what we have to do. Because I know that like a lot of people that are getting into Yang, they're very new to politics in general. So we're all like kind of learning alongside with Yang too. Like, he's not, of course he's not a career politician, but he's also learning like the ropes and like how like fucked up everything really is along with a lot of us. So it was like a really cool, like, we're like a part of his journey, which makes us even more dedicated. And it's like when we vote him in, like, we're voting like in a way for ourselves, because like he really is representing us like nearly 100%. So yes, it's really beautiful. Now let's see, how did you find out about Yang? I'm so curious.
In all honesty, well, because the first thing I heard was like an Asian man just he trying to give $1,000 to everybody, and I thought that was crap. Like, no way, come on, that's not real. But then I listened to a lot, man. I listened to a lot of politics. I'm in the middle, so I listen. I'm always sneaking on every single page. What's the thing that's CNN, Fox? I just, Young Turk, everything, anything I can grab new on it, I'm fascinated by. I want to listen to it. Yeah. So, but what got me into Yang, man, is Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan. I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan. When I heard that podcast on him on Joe Rogan, shoot, I don't care. You listen to that whole podcast, that turned you into a believer, man. It turns you.
It's so true.
Like I take my mom, right? I took my grandpa, I took my brother, I was like, man, shut up. I put the tablet up and I put on Joe Rogan. I said, hey, watch this shit for about 9.5. You know what I mean? And if you like it, you don't know. And then they go, man, that dude is smart. I think that's a good, I think I want to roll with him. I'm like, exactly. So if I got as many people put a tablet in front, watch this for a minute, you know what I mean? And tell me what you think, and then they become believers. That's all it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, same. I've been watching Joe Rogan for about 3 years now, so I'm already a fan of most of his stuff. It's funny because I think you could say you're into wrestling, pretty much, right? So that's funny that how you. Yeah, I see. I was about to ask you, dude. I love like East Asian culture. I love my anime. I love my K-pop. We have to talk about that. Man, that's a whole. I respect it. And so it's funny how you probably know Joe Rogan through that mindset or that community. And for me, I just enjoy podcasts in general. And I'm like, again, like I love like the skeptic community. I love people that talk about like, the three baddies, religion, sex, and politics. I love just to learn more about that stuff in general. And Joe Rogan always has like cool people up there, and he's willing to like talk with anybody. So I just love that about Joe in general. So then when YouTube had recommended me like a clip, it wasn't even the whole thing. It was just the clip of Yang talking about free college. And again, like I knew like, oh wow, he's kind of like it was framed in a way where he was going to criticize that policy of Bernie's. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like I was into Bernie. I still kind of like Bernie. I would probably vote for him. And this is in March, so around where everybody February, March is when it really popped off. But that one clip, it was like 8 minutes or so, and I was waiting for like Yang to like kind of like be like mean to Bernie. Like, I was waiting for him to be like, okay, like this is why like Bernie's full of shit or whatever. But he didn't even and I was like, wait. And when it ended,
you don't have to. So you just gotta talk for a couple minutes. He'll be like, and he'll be like, wait a minute. Did he change? Like this man talking about automation. He talking about AI. He talking about the trucking is going to go out. Like he's talking about real stuff. All the other stuff, like when I watch Donald Trump, I'll get in a certain mind frame. Okay, you got to get like a WWE mind frame. Like, okay, what's today's story? Okay, what's today's story? Like, because that's a hot mess. No matter what it is, it's a hot mess. Because realistically, I'm sorry, anybody can sit there and say, "Oh, he's going to get impeached, or we're going to impeach." It's not going to do it, man. The guy is Teflon. The way to beat him is how Andrew Yang is speaking on. The way to beat him, and this is coming from a person that voted for him. You know what I mean? Voted for Trump.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is the way to beat him. It's through Andrew Yang, because you put them on stage together, Yang is going to tear them apart, man. Yang is going to tear them apart, and it's going to be sad. It's going to be a sad day because I voted for that man. That man is going to under water fast, man, when he goes up against him like that.
It's so funny. This is part of the reason why I just cannot stand the way these polls are being run, on generally speaking, because the fact that they're only polling Democrats, registered Democrats, and nobody else is already a red flag for me. So I'm like, okay, you do realize that like we have Trump as our president, so should we be polling like as many people as possible? Like, why is it like restricted to a certain Democrat that is like, they vote all the time and like this and this and landline? I know that like Tom from Nurse for Yang, like he, the polls are not like
polls suck, man. I don't care what they say. They suck, man. They suck. They suck. They suck so bad. They suck hard, man. Look what happened last time, man. They made that the polls had people looking stupid. Have people looking stupid over Trump, man. And so when they say, hey, chance, it's not true because I live in a state. I live in Oklahoma, okay? I live in a state that it's blanketed with Trump people, left and right. I don't care what you say. Trump is a good guy, whatever, okay? Trump is that guy. You know what I mean? But when it comes right down to it, hey, what about you think, Andrew Yang? Yeah, I'm going to vote for Andrew Yang.
Really?
That's what I hear. But I said, what about Elizabeth Warren? No, she get in, Bernie get in. Nah, I can't do it. But Andrew Yang, if he passes, I'm going to vote for him. See, that right there is like,
oh my God.
It's there. It's more there than a lot of people can see. It's there. It's underneath. But man, it is what it is.
I mean, oh my God, this is just like amazing. It's funny because I live in Delaware and it's like a blue state, right? However, I remember in 2015 through like 16, even though I was around people that, thought that, Trump was an idiot or whatever, I noticed that especially in like the college town, like campus area, I saw like a couple of Trump like posters and like windows and stuff, and I'm like, okay, it's interesting because it's technically or like a liberal type area, but right. I didn't see any Hillary like posters. I didn't see any like anybody else, even like a Bernie, but I saw a Trump one, so it clued me into like, okay, people want to send a message. If people want to make a statement, they don't want to vote for like same old. And yeah, you can criticize Trump all you want to, and he's not the best president. I don't like him even now, but I respect that he was running on like, listen, I'm gonna like shake the shit up, and who doesn't like that? It's like, yeah, like obviously, and bringing it back to Yang, like Yang really puts in perspective. I didn't know like the state of our economy as much as I do now because of Yang. I didn't know. I wasn't really looking into automation as much. I knew a little bit about self-driving cars, but I did not know anything about self-driving trucks. I did not know that was like
I did
a
not
thing
know
that
about
was
that
happening.
either.
And
Did
you
not
worked
know
in the
about that.
area.
He was talking about immigrants. When he was talking about immigrants, he's like, well, hey, I'm Mexican, man. You know what? It kind of had me feeling like, like I have family over there. You know what I mean? But hey, man, like maybe it could. You know what I mean? Because the way he was talking, but
Yeah.
that's not what it is. That's not completely nowhere where it is. But and like he said, like it's the automation, it's the technology. It's wiping out. There's a wealth gap. There's a big, gigantic wealth gap, and this man sees it. He sees it, and he's trying to get ahead of it. He's trying to help people. He's trying to let people know. He's trying to get it on the ball because like you said, he has to transform. He got to transform everything so we can put it right. And he's talking about the future. Come on, man. What is Joe talking about over there? What is you know what I mean? They're not
It's just
doing it.
it's more
I'm
Trump
sorry.
bashing. Yeah, it really is. I mean, and it's funny. I knew about Elizabeth Warren before I knew about Yang. Like I just heard her name because there was a lot of talk about her, but I didn't like her. I'm like, I just found her to be
You know what I mean?
boring, honestly. So I was like, okay, next. Like I didn't even really consider her, but then it's funny how like now she's like gonna be Yang's like number one problem, quote unquote, and it's like why like it just proves that like people are just so freaking checked out. They're just like completely like don't know what's happening at all because if
She's
yeah,
unreal. I'm sorry to say.
snake.
I'm sorry to say. I know a lot of in Oklahoma. She's from, or I think she's from here. I don't know what somewhere around here.
Oh, let me look it up.
Maybe she grew up around here or something. I don't know. But either way, I know a lot of Indian guys, right? And they're not voting for her. They're not voting. Sorry, they're not. They're not because when you make cookbooks and get awards for being the first Indian woman and stuff like that, that stuff you're branded again. And once again, you're branded. And you're stuck with that. And when you go into the general, man, yeah, Trump, like somebody like Trump, yeah, we know everything about him. We know that idiot. You know what I mean? We know. We're gonna hit that button that people hit that button for him again. You know what I mean? If she walks up, that's the whole thing about it. And I'm sorry to say,
No, I
Well, let
agree.
me ask you a question about Bernie.
Well, Warren was born in Oklahoma City, by the way, so
But
legit. Yeah, she was born in Oklahoma City.
she wasn't lying about it.
And so it's funny how in her home state, as you say, that you're not even voting for her.
No one. No. Let me ask you a question about Bernie, though, man.
Yes.
How did you feel? How did you feel when you heard he had a heart attack, man?
Right. Mixed emotions. I thought that. Well, first of all, they were trying to. They weren't trying to say he had a heart attack at first. I just heard like he had stents in his artery or something. I'm like, okay. He was like chest pains, so he had to go to the hospital. I'm like, okay, it makes sense. He's pretty old. I mean, I can't like it wasn't surprising, but it was like, oh man, like that's interesting. And then when I heard that it was actually a heart attack, I'm like, yeah, and like it just goes to show, like I definitely have no. I want him to be healthy, but it's like it makes the case for Yang to be better. I mean, like, because a lot of people that are hardcore Brave supporters, like, they kind of ignore his age, and it's like, you guys, like, that actually does make a difference. Like, he would be older if him, Biden, I think Warren, if they were to become president in 2020, they would become older than like the oldest president that stopped being president. So basically, I forget who, but the I think the person that let me look up who his name is. But basically, the oldest president that we had stopped being president at 79. So, and that's like pretty recently. So if Bernie, Biden, or Warren become president, they'd be the oldest president by far. Like, so that's just like like, I'm sorry, that you just can't deny that. That's like, it's so stressful being in a campaign and then, you know, being president. We saw how, you know, it really aged Obama. It's just not a good look. And it's less because I commend these guys for fighting and for, you know, putting themselves out there, but it's just like, it just goes to show that, like, if you had to choose, if Yang wasn't in this fight, sure, vote for Bernie. But now
Yeah.
that Yang is in here and he's like
It's
half
not
their age,
like,
he's half their age. It's like,
well,
okay.
it's crazy because it's like watching two, like, you know what I mean, like my another uh uh another. It's like watching two wrestlers, like I'm saying, like when the Rock came in, like, you know, when you have Stone Cold. Stone Cold was the man, right? Stone Cold was the man with Bernie, he was the man. But then you got that Andrew Yang is the Rock. You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
he's on that level, the future. You know what I mean? Man, I love Bernie. You know, and but I gotta ride with Yang, man. I mean, that's my decision, and it is what it is. Because I just think that Bernie, let's just say he does win, right? Then he'll have a big chance against Trump. But if as long as Biden stays in, it's gonna get. I just feel like they're gonna get tore apart, and Elizabeth Warren is sapping his voters. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Elizabeth
yeah.
Warren sapping. She's sapping his voters right off top. So it is what it is. Maybe he might be vice president, or she be president, or vice versa, or maybe Andrew Yang, and then he could pull Bernie Sanders. Hey, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's talking about who's gonna be his VP, and it's like, I have no idea really. Like, the best guess I
Yeah.
guess would be Tully, or no, wow, Tulsi. Excuse me. But I don't even know about that because Tulsi has so
Nah,
much like controversy, and
you gotta put somebody old with him, man. You gotta put somebody old with him. He can be young, but he got to that way. Because when you get to the general, you got to pull, you know, Trump supporters basically. You know what I mean? And listen to him alone. But like, there's other people out there that want to. They're going to. Well, let's put some wisdom behind them too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's an old cat.
That's what I'm saying. And the fact that he wants a female, it's like, you know, shrinking it even more. It's like, okay, like a female that you like and that would be good for you. It's just a lot. I trust that everything will work out, but when people ask, like, okay, who do you think is gonna be his vice president? I'm like, I have no freaking idea. Like, beats me.
There's a lot of females out there, man, that are smart and do the job.
Yeah.
They're smart and they can do the job. It's just like when you go into that general, man, like there's
it's just a lot of pressure. Like, you really have to. I think Obama's the one that said that, yeah, like picking Joe Biden was like one of my best decisions of me winning because people saw him as established and has like, or I saw Joe Biden as like established and knew he was doing, and you know that like kind of contrast.
Obama took him, so he could grab the white vote, man, and that's what it was. You know what I mean? Because Obama had the black vote, and he had the black vote, the Mexican vote, the Indian vote, all type of vote, no matter minority vote, just minority in general. He had all the other vote. I remember. Shoot, we was all out there, all out there with everybody trying to vote for that man. Like, hey, we got to get him in. That's it. But like I said, but he had to fight. I don't think Biden. It is, but it's already done deal. You know, I think Biden should.
Sorry, done deal.
Done deal. Biden should sit out.
Yeah, to me, it's like and another smaller YouTuber, but he's like growing a lot. Kai Watson. He made a video recently, like, yeah, we have to like keep an eye out on like the Biden supporters because when Biden probably drops out just because he's like exhausted, he just can't do it anymore. where will his supporters go, right? So we have to make sure that like they know about Yang, because a lot of Biden supporters, I feel like don't know about Yang, or like they just have this weird, like you said, like he's not qualified or he's like too small. And then we have to really show them like, no, like he has a freaking base behind him, like a strong support system. And it really is up to us to just have them see that. I love.
He's riding off Obama's name, man.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
sure.
yeah, he's riding off Obama's name from the last one. And tell you the truth, let's just say he does win, okay? Let's say he does win the primary.
Gross.
You know what Trump's going to do to him? Everybody knows what Trump's going to do to him, man. And being a person that voted for Trump, I know what he's going to do to him. He's going to run him into the ground with the same stuff. Well, you and Obama and Hillary were all into a car together, and y'all just ran this thing off a cliff, and he can just run that over and over and over and over. It's to say, because you're the past. You're the past. We need to go to the future. And that's why Trump is trying to stay right there. You think like he's afraid to go against Biden? Because Biden out there, he's afraid. He's afraid I'll beat him like a drum. Get out of here, man. He wants you. He wants to go against you, man. He don't want to go against Bernie. He wants to go against you. And that's the truth. He don't want to go against definitely Yang. He really don't want to go against Yang. That's why he ain't saying nothing about him.
Yeah, exactly. It's so true. It really is. So wow. Okay, this is so interesting. Were you born in Oklahoma?
Yep.
Oh, born and raised. That's nice. Yeah, I was born in Philadelphia, but my parents, they moved to Delaware when I was 3 years old. So technically, like, I'm pretty much raised here. And yeah, it's just so I'm about to actually move to Las Vegas for a bit, for like about 5 months to help with the Nevada team, because you know, as you know, like Andrew, like he has the funds to like expand his offices. So luckily, there he's gonna like do more in or at least have more of a base in Las Vegas / Nevada, because it's it's the third state that's voting in the primaries. Like it's Iowa, New Hampshire, and Nevada, right? But not a lot of people pay attention to that. Yeah.
Nothing but the best. I hope nothing but the best, and I hope everything works out, because I really do. Because man, I want the best. I hope this man wins. I really do.
He will.
Like here it's a Republican state. It's like it's hard for it to change. The only thing you can do, the only thing right here, like in this state, it's gonna be, in my opinion, it's gonna be Republican no matter what. And that's just the bottom line. But at least you can pick up some single voters, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of them out there, you know what I mean? There's a lot of them out there that are starting. The tide is changing. The tide is changing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it is changing. It's changing. It's at a low level. Those people that are at the high, they hear it. They hear it. They know what's up on it. They know what's up. It's changing there at the bottom. That's why they don't want to act. They're trying to ignore it, or they're trying to sell around the tide. You know what I mean? They're trying to stay away from it though, and that's the truth. Man. Hey, let me tell you something too. I just heard, man.
Yeah.
Trump alone, and this is the honest to God truth. Trump alone got $736 million. That's his war chest of gold, man. I just saw that today on the report. Good God, man.
That's his
freaking Lord.
that's pretty, like, that's his wealth in entirely, or that's like through like
that's the funding. That's what he been collecting from you know. So they put Joe Biden losing money, man. like they ain't got money, man. He got some war chest, man. Well, I think they said Hillary spent $1 billion on her election, and she still lost. Trump didn't, but he didn't even have half of that, I believe, last time, because the GOP was against him. You know what I mean? The GOP didn't want him to win, but this time they're in lock steady step, boy. They're
like, yeah, we're just gonna let him rock and roll. So, yeah, you're right. Hillary, I think, had 1.5 billion. She's spent in advertising, which that, and you know, including like all these celebrity endorsements and like all this and that. But the reason why Trump was so successful, I mean, yeah, the difference is that he actually had a good like product. You know, it's like it really is like business in a sense. It's like, yeah, you can market all you want to. If your product shit, then like nobody's gonna buy from you. And Hillary was the shit product. You know? So it's like, no.
You know, that when you think about it, and you think about the Comey, that whole Comey and the email thing, that messed her up bad. That messed her up bad. And then what was the foundation? That's all you hear about. That. How did she get $1 billion out of the foundation and stuff like that, man? You know what I mean? People, when they start looking into it, when they start thinking about it, they it's just hard to vote for that. And that's just about life. Joe is just like that. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Well, this is a good talk.
This is really good. You are a man. I wish I could see you in person, but I don't think. I mean, who knows? Maybe. Oh, you know, the November debates will be in Atlanta on November 20th. Okay. So I don't know if you're. I know you have like a family and all that stuff, but you know.
Go down to Chicago. I got to go down to Chicago. My daughter is serving in the Navy. She graduates in I think October 18th, around there, pretty soon. So I want to head down to Chicago and watch her graduate. So.
Oh wow!
I'm very, very proud of her. Like you have no idea.
Aww.
So trying to hold my tears back on this one. Like graduation, right? Graduation, I was kind of like, yeah, everybody, you know, I'm proud of you. You know what I mean? Pat on the back, pat on the head. Here's some money. Congratulations. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
This one, you know, when she gets this, man, oh my God, this just makes me proud. This makes me really, really proud that she's making it out of the Navy and she's going to do something with, you know, the forces and stuff like that. It's an honor. I mean, to be a father with his daughter in the Navy. So.
Wow, how old is she?
She's 18.
18. Wow, that's pretty impressive. And she just wanted to move to Chicago because that's where like the training was and all that stuff.
Yeah, the base is up there. They take them out, and then after she gets to see us for 2 days, so I'm driving down there or flying one of them to. And then she goes to Douglas, and then she gets to come back for 3 weeks. So
you know
not too bad.
Let me see something really quick. Because if you're coming up here, you do realize that the debates are in Ohio, right? Next week.
Oh yeah.
You didn't know? Oh my God. Yes. Okay. Let me break it down to you. So on October 15th. The debate is gonna be one night, which is, I mean, don't even get me started on how ridiculous that is. But it's gonna be one night, and it's gonna be in Westerville, which is a city near Columbus. So it's basically Columbus, Ohio. So me and actually a lot of people are gonna come or are gonna go to Ohio. We have like 2 Yang Gang Airbnbs that we'll be at, and we'll just be like, you know, doing like, you know, out there doing the outside rallies and like trying to get the media attention. And that's actually when Fred the Felon, he's gonna have his truck debut, his Yang Truckers for Yang. It will be ready. Like it's actually like getting made as we speak right now. So I know.
I want to make a trailer for him. I want to be like, I'm a Trump supporter and I'm voting for Andrew Yang. We can get a whole bunch of people to say that. You know what I mean? That are Trump supporters that are voting for Andrew Yang. That'd be a beautiful commercial, man. Beautiful commercial.
Dude. I mean, oh my God. That would just prove to people like, yeah, like because like most people just want anybody but Trump. You know, like there's like anybody but Trump. Okay. Oh,
well,
like,
it's hard to come out. It's hard to come out if you voted for Trump. You know, a lot of people be like you be on there at AB or was it like one of the news sites on Facebook, and you're not trying to disagree with nobody, but Trump does say Trump has a point on something. Like, yeah, he does got a point. Racist. God, wait a minute. Like, no, man. Like, wait, stop. You know, like
it's
racist.
So extreme. Yeah, it really is extreme. And I hate it. God, like identity politics and all this stuff. It's just like really toxic in itself. And it's like it's one of the downfalls of the Democratic Party because they kind of like let this run amok and let like I hate to like simplify it. There's like the regressive left kind of like throwaway feminism, like, you know, anything, you know, you have to be on your toes, you can't offend anybody, and like be catering to like minorities and all this stuff. It's like people don't have time for that. Like people like especially it's so great that like Yang talks about the economic side of like mental health. You know, like your mental health is very much tied to your financial security, and it's like so simple when you learn about it. But really, if you're not aware, like you really can be doing some crazy stuff when it's kind of in response to like your financial stress and your insecurity. So
You know what? One of the smartest things he said that caught me off guard is in one of his interviews. But he said that we need to get the boot off their throat. You know what I mean? We got to get the boot off their throat. How can they think about climate change? Because let me tell you something. Trump supporters don't care about no climate change. You know what I mean? A lot of them care about climate change because they care about the money. You know what I mean? They care about the bills. They care about that. They care about they care about that. But what Andrew Yang comes along and says, he's like, if we can get the boot off their throat, then maybe they might be able to care about it. Maybe they have time to put some extra thought into it. Because let me tell you like that, because he's right on it. I think he says like he said the IQ level drops because when you're worried about bills.
Yeah, by 13 points. Which is crazy. Yeah.
I didn't know that. This dude teach me.
I didn't know that either. Yeah.
So that tells me a lot. So it's like if you can get them and help them, you know what I mean? They can start worrying about, okay, climate change hey, this might be important. This subject over here might be important. And they have time to actually look into that. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
It's literally, like, and it's funny. I only did one semester of college because after then I hated it. But the one semester of college, in my sociology class, we did learn about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and that is it. Like it's actually, listen, I am like an environmentalist. I love animals. I love nature. I recycle or when I can. I'm not like a vegan, but I get it. I know the mindset of like being an environmentalist. But even I know it's like, okay, if somebody cannot pay their bills or cannot eat, they shouldn't be thinking about the penguins in freaking Alaska. Like it's not smart. Like it's you really go into like your primary. So I do not blame people that are in like this kind of primordial state of mind, because it totally makes sense. Or else, like, if you can't survive, like, then you can't help anybody else, Yeah, so I get it.
I'll tell you, if you're worried about bills, you're worried about money, you're worried about like a lot of people sit there. $1,000 ain't a lot. $1,000 is everything to me. $1,000 everybody I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But $1,000, I don't worry. $1,000 is everything. That can change the game. You know what I mean? It's not gonna. You can't just live. You can't live off $1,000. Yeah, you gotta work still and stuff like that. But that can help. Shoot, I had a dying dog out here. You know what I mean? Like, shoot, you gotta take care of your bills. Take the dog to the vet. Man, that could be a $200, $300 deal. The dog gone. You know what I mean? I'm just, you know what I mean?
No, I get it. Yeah. It's real life. So yeah, it's so, and that's like shows people's cards. I love how, and that's you can really tell like people don't know what they're talking about when they criticize Yang for the most part. I would be open if they were actually smart about their criticisms, but most of the time they just like contradict themselves in the same sentence. Like you said, they'll say, "Oh, well, it's $1,000 not even that much. Like who can live off of that?" And it's like, okay, Yang does not want anybody to live off of it, really. It's the helping hand. And then they'll say that, And then in the same paragraph, they'll say like, wait, well, is it not stacked on like every single welfare program? It's like, why doesn't everybody get this money? And it's like, well, you can't do that because the actual welfare program, like punishes you for making a certain amount of money. So the reason why you can't just automatically stack is because most of the time people aren't making a lot of money. It's like, well, the average is like $400 for most programs. So if you give them $1,000 on top of that, they can't use that program anymore. So it's better to have them opt in because to give them that choice.
It don't matter because one man said it. Is that one man? Because even Andrew Mann gives him credit for coming up with it. Dr. Martin Luther King. There was a video about the gang that I watched with Martin Luther King. Gang said it, and then boy, I had no clue that Martin Luther King said that. Right there, that just blew my mind. My wife, all my kids are half black. Okay, I have 6 of them got a lot. Okay, so I said, did you know anything like that? She said, no, I didn't know nothing like that. But for that right there, that man said it. Hey, you know, man. Yeah. I mean, he brought it out. Andrew Yang, I'm telling you.
This is why I know he's not full of shit. Like, actually, because I luckily I actually knew a little bit about that. I knew that Martin Luther King was killed during the time that he was talking about economic equality, and I knew that, but I didn't know that he was championing for a universal basic income. I just knew that, like, that was why really he was actually killed, because they didn't want him to be talking about that. Like, they didn't want people to talk about money. And that is like the root cause of a lot of the race tension. Really, it really comes back to money. So I love how, like, people are like, oh, you guys are just like thinking about the money, like you guys are just like lazy, you just want the money. I'm like, no, we're actually trying to get the money out of the system so we can focus on the things that actually matter. It just so happens that, like, money has become such like a thing for us that we have to address that, and then we can move on. We're not just trying to get money. We're actually trying to, like, help problems beyond that point, So it really is. It's just that, and that's what I feel Martin Luther King was probably trying to do too, because he probably found out that, yeah, like, we can't solve a lot of these problems in the Black community and the white community if everybody's stressed on like paying their freaking bills. It really, like, I'm sure it was the same exact thing back then. So it's just like goes to show that I know that Yang's not full of shit. I know he's like the real deal, because all he talks about is facts, and then he'll like kind of like follow it up with like, okay, listen, I'm trying to help you guys. Here's like, this is what's happening, and now, like, let's actually try to fix this problem. And he's so incredibly compassionate and so incredibly like funny and like super cool, and it's just like the mix of everything. It's perfect.
I loved it when he came out with when he had the fireworks right there. And he was sitting there with his arms open like that. Oh my God! I want him to come out to every single rally like that. Have little fireworks, turn on the back. I love it. That's what I want to see. That's exactly what
I know. Super cool guy. I mean, and I had the pleasure of meeting him in Detroit, actually. I got it on camera. And when I met him, like, I was just so like overwhelmed, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually gonna meet him. Like, no, this is too much. I can't do this. But when I actually like met him, like, he was just so like calm and like composed, and I was like kind of shocked. Like, I can get a good feel of people's like energy, so to speak. And I didn't feel any sense of like stress or any sense of like anxiety. It was just like, yeah, hey, how you doing? I'm just like, what? Blown away. So I hope that I'm sure that everybody will get a chance to meet him, because I can't wait for when you get a chance to meet him, because it really is just like he's one of a kind, really. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be very, very interesting these next like 3 months, because I have a feeling that the Yang Gang are gonna be growing, like, just in numbers.
It's growing, and it's not going to stop growing. And I mean, it's I hope Bernie doesn't get. I hope he can get better. I really do. But his voters, they're going to start peeling off too. And Elizabeth Warren, it's going to come down. I call it right now. I call it right now. He's going to quit, okay? Because he's going to bleed so many voters.
When?
Donors.
When do you think he'll quit? I'm curious. I'm thinking if he is going to quit, I'm thinking maybe December. I think he's going to wait until like as long as possible. Well, when do you think?
He's going to quit. Once the polls start coming in, showing him like he's done deal, like when he's getting beat, he's going to pull out. He's not going to do that, man. You know what I mean? And I think, in all honesty, if nothing happens to Bernie, okay, let's just say if something does, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down to Elizabeth Warren and Yang, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think a lot of people think that as well because they're the only two people that are like actually growing. Everybody else is either stagnant or going down, including Bernie. Bernie's just like kind of stagnant or going down and going up in some places, but for the most part, people are just kind of like tired of him, which I mean, you can say that's like kind of, it's like, yeah, so I think that you're right. It's going to come down to my prediction. I'm thinking, man, December, I think we'll probably, in like the national polls, I think we'll probably be averaging at like, I think we'll be averaging at like 17%. Honestly, I think right now we're probably at like 13%, really, if you count everybody. But right now the polls are bullshit. But I think that the actual, by December, I think it's going to get so freaking crazy that we're going to average at 17%. And then Warren's probably going to be at like 25, maybe. Like, I guess. I think she's going to like be wavering at that point.
So I think she's peaking. I think she's peaking, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
She peaked way too early.
Because I mean, people started saying once the media, like, this is my thing, okay? Because like Andrew Yang, my opinion, is kind of like in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's kind of like because he can pull both sides. Once Joe Biden's out the way, where's the media going to turn to? They're going to turn. Yang is going to be everywhere, I bet. Yang, because he's in the middle, man. And that's the truth. So I think once he gets out the way, they're going to, because the media don't want Bernie. They don't want Bernie. You know what I mean?
He still has that. Yeah. Yeah, Bernie, he still has that like socialism stamp on his forehead, which you just can't.
He's sad, but
he's branded. I'm gonna start using that. It really.
Like, have you ever watched Spartacus? You know what I mean?
Wait. Are you talking about the Stars series?
Yeah.
You are my favorite person right now. You
here, brand on your arm. They put that brand. He brands them, man. Like, that's his property, man. Like, he brands them, man. Like, they're branded.
I love you so much, dude. That's like one of my favorite shows of all time, legit. I used to like own it on the
shows of all time, man.
Oh my God.
So hey, don't let me get into Game of Thrones with you too. I can get in Game of Thrones with you and Spartacus and
we have to talk about anime and
okay. Hey, did you see that they was CNN was trying to push the Joker movie? They were trying to push the Joker movie. Yeah, they were trying to push the Joker movie, and they were trying to say, that there was going to be a shooting. Like they actually
heard about that
at a theater. In my opinion, that's what it sounded like. They was pushing like this is going to trigger somebody to go shoot at theater, and on CNN, man, they was pushing that hard.
I heard,
and it didn't happen.
Of course. Oh my God! Like, it just goes to show that like the one I haven't seen it yet. I know I should have seen it by now. Have you seen it?
It's really good.
I cannot wait. Oh my God!
I did a lot.
I cannot wait because I had a feeling that it was gonna be one of those like taxi drivers, like character study, very intense movies. And I love those types of movies. I love art that pushes the boundaries, and I love
Yeah,
that the one movie, like most films right now, kind of suck, so or they're just like the same old, right? Even like a lot of the comic book movies, they're just not really doing it. But this Joker movie, like I just can tell by the trailers, I'm like, yo, it's gonna be something
it's good.
different. And
It's
as
really
soon as something is like edgy or like actually innovative, of course the mainstream media is like, oh no, like stay away from this, stay away from it. It's like, man, fuck you guys. You guys are full of shit. You're full of it.
full of,
I
full of
hate it.
shit. Full of, man, walking. What is it? Walking Phoenix. His performance was killer, man.
I can't
I
wait.
could like it was killer. Like when you
Uh
watch it, like man, he was not lying because like even at the end, I love the movies. Like there's movies out there like you can watch the Avengers. You don't go home thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like okay, you kind of got the plot. It was kind of cool. Maybe something with Thanos. You know what I mean? His idea. The way he was thinking about killing people and stuff like that. But
yeah.
like, there was really not too much to think about it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but you watch something like that type of movie, it's just like you break down like, golly, like from one point to the next to the point, and it's just like, man, like this dude couldn't get any help. But then you start to think, can you help somebody like that? Even if you could help them, you know what I mean? It wasn't going to change nothing. You know what I mean? Like it's craziness. So you
Ah.
need to go watch. You need to update me. I want to know your reaction and your review on it. I would like to hear that. That would be a good one.
Oh my god. Do you think we can like do this again? Like when we come back, we can talk about like movies and like Spartacus and like all this.
I, I can't wait for the new season to come. I love the new Brawley movie, my favorite. Uh,
Yay! Yeah,
yeah,
we gotta talk about a lot of stuff because I had a feeling like this guy we probably have a lot in common and we do. So I can't wait. Hey, hey.
yeah.
Uh well, Gino, I really appreciate you
Well,
coming to me and finding me out, going on my channel and just checking out my stuff and this is so much fun, dude. Thank you so much.
right. Next time I say you vote for Trump, be like, I press the button. And what?
What are you gonna
So,
do about it? And this time's gonna be for Yang, so you better watch out, people. Woo!
like I said, I'm a Trump supporter and I'm voting for Andrew Yang.
I love it.
Yep.
That's it. All right, guys, have a good one and talk to you later. Bye.